You know, we often grow up believing that once we reach retirement age, life becomes more about managing what we already have than discovering something new. But the truth is, there are still doors that quietly open for you, sometimes without you even noticing. One of the most overlooked ones has to do with healthcare. And it's not about flashy new treatments or experimental programs, it's about credits and coverage that were designed specifically to lighten your burden as you age. The surprising part? Many people never use them. Take Linda, a 72-year-old from Ohio. She had spent years ignoring her dental problems because she assumed she simply couldn't afford the care. For her, dentist visits felt like a luxury, something out of reach. It wasn't until her neighbor mentioned a supplemental healthcare program available in her area that she discovered she qualified for extra coverage. Almost overnight, the impossible became manageable. Her dental costs, which had once seemed like a mountain, dropped to almost nothing. Linda's story isn't rare, it's just rarely told. And perhaps that's where the real problem lies. So many of these benefits are hidden in the fine print, buried in government websites, or explained in language that feels too complicated. But here's the truth. These credits and supplemental programs are not favors being handed out. They are benefits you have earned through years of work, taxes, and contribution. They exist to support your dignity, not diminish it. Sometimes it only takes one phone call to unlock them. The practical step is simple. Start by contacting your local Medicare office or state health department. Ask directly about supplemental credits for dental, vision, or hearing. In many places, you'll find entire programs designed to cover what the standard plan doesn't. If calling feels overwhelming, ask a trusted family member to sit with you while you do it. Or write down your questions before dialing so you don't feel rushed. And if you prefer the online route, most states now have eligibility checkers where you can enter your information and see what you qualify for. The question I would gently invite you to consider is this. Have you quietly accepted certain limitations, like avoiding the eye doctor or skipping hearing aids, because you believed they were financially out of reach? What if the limitation wasn't your wallet, but simply a lack of information? Aging asks us to live differently than before, not to give up. It asks us to care for our bodies with the same tenderness we once gave to our children or our careers. Imagine how different your days might feel if the headaches from poor vision faded away, or if you could laugh clearly at a joke you actually heard instead of guessing. These benefits exist to give you back moments like that. And if this feels useful, if it sparks even a little curiosity about what else might be waiting for you, I'd encourage you to subscribe so you won't miss the other opportunities that so many people overlook. Sometimes it only takes a few gentle reminders to change not just your finances, but your quality of life. For many people, Social Security feels like a closed book the moment they begin receiving it. You apply, you start collecting, and that's the end of the story. But here's something worth pausing on. It isn't the end at all. There are hidden chapters in that book, and when you turn the right page, you might find more support than you ever expected. The system was designed with layers, but those layers are often invisible unless someone shows you where to look. Delayed retirement credits, spousal add-ons, and survivor benefits are not loopholes. They're deliberate parts of the program, created so that people like you could have choices, flexibility, and security. Think of it this way. Imagine a tree in your backyard. You can sit under it today and enjoy its shade, or you can let it grow a little longer, giving you a fuller canopy that protects you more deeply. That's how delayed retirement credits work. The longer you wait, the stronger the protection. Of course, waiting isn't always possible. Some people need the income sooner, and there's no shame in that. But for those who can afford to delay, the reward is significant. For every year you postpone collecting between full retirement age and 70, your benefit grows by about 8%. That can mean thousands of dollars more each year, compounded for life. Spousal benefits are another overlooked area. A husband or wife who stayed home, raised children, or earned less over a lifetime can often claim a benefit based on their partner's record. Mary, 68, once thought her Social Security would be tiny because she'd only worked part-time after her children were born. When she learned she could claim on her husband's record, her income more than doubled. It gave her breathing room, not luxury, but dignity. And dignity is priceless. Survivor benefits, too, are easily misunderstood. If a spouse passes away, the surviving partner can often switch to a higher benefit. Too many widows and widowers quietly struggle, unaware that help was built into the system for them. It's painful enough to lose someone you love. No one should also carry unnecessary financial weight simply because the rules weren't clear. The technical details can feel intimidating, but here's a gentle reminder. You don't have to figure it all out at once, and you don't have to do it alone. A simple call to the Social Security office can open doors. Write down your questions before you call. Ask directly about delayed credits, spousal benefits, or survivor adjustments. Bring a notebook, take your time, and remember that the person on the other end of the line is there to help you understand what you have earned. I wonder, have you ever assumed that what you receive now is all you'll ever get, without asking if more was possible? It's not about greed, it's about fairness. You've worked, you've contributed, and these benefits were created for people like you. Even if you uncover just a small increase, it can be the difference between worrying about the cost of medicine and paying for it without fear. If reflections like this feel helpful, if you want gentle reminders about resources that could ease your days, I invite you to subscribe so you won't miss the quiet opportunities that are so often overlooked. Sometimes the smallest insight can change the way you walk into tomorrow. There's something many older adults never realize. The home they worked so hard for, the roof they've maintained through decades, might actually be costing them far more than necessary. Property taxes often rise year after year, and yet in many counties and states, there are quiet exemptions designed specifically for seniors. These programs are not advertised on billboards, and no one knocks on your door to explain them. But they exist, waiting to ease a burden that so many carry in silence. It can feel unfair, can't it? After decades of paying taxes, raising families, and contributing to your community, the idea of losing sleep over a property tax bill seems almost cruel. And yet, countless seniors still do. I've spoken with people who ration their groceries or delay medical visits, all while unknowingly sending hundreds or even thousands more each year to their county office than they truly owe. The science of aging reminds us that stress itself has a physical impact. Elevated cortisol, disrupted sleep, higher blood pressure, it's all tied to financial strain. So when we talk about property tax relief, it's not only about saving money, it's about lightening the weight your body and mind carry each day. There's something deeply healing in knowing you don't have to fight alone. The process to claim this relief may sound complicated at first, but in truth, it often comes down to a single form. Counties and municipalities frequently offer what's called a senior exemption or homestead exemption. If you own your home and meet the age or income requirements, you may qualify. Sometimes the savings are small, sometimes they're life-changing. Either way, it's money that belongs in your pocket, not lost in bureaucracy. The steps are usually straightforward. Call your county tax office and simply ask if they have a senior property tax exemption. If they do, request the application. Fill it out, often just one page, and return it. Some places require you to reapply every few years, but once you've done it the first time, it becomes second nature. If forms intimidate you, ask a family member, a friend, or even a local senior center staff to help. You don't need to carry this on your own shoulders. I wonder, have you ever opened your property tax bill and felt that sinking heaviness in your chest, telling yourself there's nothing to be done? What if that belief itself was the real burden, heavier than the tax? What if freedom was just one question away? Do I qualify for relief? Aging invites us to look not only at our bodies with new care, but also at our homes. Your home should be a place of safety, not a source of fear. Imagine the relief of opening that envelope next year and seeing a smaller number, knowing that you acted, that you claimed what was rightfully yours. There's a quiet kind of power in that, a reminder that even in later chapters of life, we can still rewrite the story in our favor. And perhaps the greatest gift of all is realizing that you deserve that relief simply because of the life you've already lived. There's a quiet kind of relief that comes when you realize some of the heaviest financial pressures can be lifted with just a few small, intentional steps. Many people assume that once they've settled into retirement, the expenses of daily life are fixed, carved in stone. But often that's not true. Programs exist, simple, practical programs that can reduce what you pay each month, and they're not hidden away in far-off places. They're right in your community, waiting for you to claim them. One of the most overlooked areas is housing-related costs, particularly property taxes. For many older adults, that bill feels like a weight they must carry forever. But in most counties and cities, there are senior exemptions that can reduce the amount significantly. The beauty of this opportunity is that it doesn't require lawyers, big investments, or complicated strategies. It begins with a phone call. Pick up the phone and call your county tax office. When you're connected, ask a simple question. Do you offer a senior property tax exemption or a homestead exemption? That one sentence can open the door. Once you have the answer, they'll usually send you an application. It may look intimidating at first, but don't let the paperwork scare you. In most cases, it's no more than 1 or 2 pages. Fill in your name, address, proof of age, and sometimes proof of income. That's it. Return it, and you're done. In some areas, you'll need to renew every 2 or 3 years, but by then you'll already know the rhythm. If this feels overwhelming, let yourself receive support. A son, a daughter, a neighbor, or even someone at a local senior center can sit with you and go through it together. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You only need to give yourself permission to ask. Sometimes that's the hardest part, isn't it? Asking. We live much of our lives being the ones who provide, who solve, who fix. And then later, when we're the ones who need the help, even if it's just in the form of information, it can feel uncomfortable. But here's a thought. Claiming what you've earned isn't taking, it's receiving the care society promised you.
And there's dignity in that. Imagine what it would feel like to open your property tax statement and see that number reduced, knowing you did the work to claim your right. Imagine what you could do with the money saved. Perhaps finally replacing those old glasses or saying yes to a trip you've been putting off. It's not about indulgence, it's about freedom. I'd invite you to reflect on this. How often have you told yourself that's just the way it is when looking at a bill, when in truth there might have been another path? Life at this stage isn't about resignation. It's about choosing where to place your energy and what burdens to set down. The steps are small, but the effect can be profound. Take the first one with courage, even if your hand trembles a little. You might be surprised at how light the world feels once you do. It's easy to think of benefits only in terms of big numbers, pensions, Social Security, insurance. But some of the most overlooked opportunities are the small ones, the quiet programs that touch your daily life in ways you may not even imagine. The truth is, when added together, these little supports can free up thousands of dollars each year. And perhaps more importantly, they can return to you a sense of ease, a sense that saying yes to life doesn't always have to come with guilt or worry. Many people shrug off senior discounts, telling themselves they're too small to matter. But here's a gentle truth. Small streams form a river. Free bus rides, discounted groceries, reduced utility bills, even waived tuition for courses at local universities. Each may seem minor on its own, but together they can create a flow of abundance that supports you month after month. The myth that these programs aren't worth the effort keeps too many people from enjoying them. But ask yourself, how many times have you skipped a trip, a class, or even a social gathering because of cost? And what would it feel like if the price was suddenly no longer a barrier? I think of Robert, 74, who always dreamed of painting. He believed art classes at the community college were far beyond his budget. One day, his daughter discovered that seniors in his state could attend courses tuition-free. Robert signed up, hesitantly at first, but within weeks his evenings were filled with colors, brushes, and laughter.
That little-known benefit gave him more than savings. It gave him a new chapter of joy. Or consider Evelyn, 69, who struggled every winter with heating bills. She quietly endured the cold, layering blankets instead of turning up the thermostat. It wasn't until a friend mentioned the state's energy assistance program that she applied. Her bill dropped by half. More than the money, it gave her the warmth of peace, knowing she no longer had to choose between comfort and cost. These examples remind us that aging doesn't mean narrowing your life. It means learning where doors are hidden and having the courage to open them. The steps are often simple. Call your local transit office and ask if seniors ride free or at reduced cost. Ask your grocery store customer service if they have a senior discount day. Contact your utility company and inquire about reduced rates for older adults. Look at nearby colleges or universities. Many allow seniors to audit classes without paying tuition. Each small inquiry is an act of self-respect, a way of saying, I still deserve to grow, to move, to live fully. You don't need to chase every discount or program. Instead, choose the ones that make your life richer in ways that matter most to you. Maybe that's saving on groceries. Maybe it's joining a class. Maybe it's knowing your house will stay warm all winter. The choice is yours, and there's a quiet dignity in that choice. If even one of these possibilities feels new to you, imagine what might change if you explored just one more. Sometimes freedom is not about grand gestures, but about the gentle release of daily burdens. And if this spoke to you, if it sparked a thought or a smile, share it with someone you care about. It might open a door for them too. And tell me, which of these everyday benefits would make the biggest difference in your life right now?